Friends, this is Columbus Beach and we are going to examine it today. This is in deep south of Trinidad, an island in the Caribbean. Make sure to like. So we are on the island of Trinidad in the Caribbean, and where that little red dot is, that's Columbus Bay, and we are on Columbus Beach. Thanks to Google Maps, we can see where I am. Right there, right off Fullerton Road. Gets you to that beach, and we're going to have a closer look at it. And one of the most interesting thing about this area is the numerous hundreds, possibly thousands of coconut trees. This part actually really makes it look like an island, like a Caribbean island. We don't see this much coconut trees in other places. There are some people bathing in the ocean here. This is one of the calmest oceans I've ever seen, and sadly enough also one of the dirtiest. There's just trash everywhere, but I suspect this trash was brought on by the sea from somewhere else. At least I'm hoping so. Now you'll notice the two tones in the color of the sand. However, the water here is slightly better, even though still dirty in my opinion as compared with a lot of other beaches we have in Trinidad. I have another video on the Vesini beach where I talk about this more extensively, and it's a real pity that beaches like this are, not inviting to swim. I just can't see myself swimming in it, but it looks really nice. Now you'll notice how the land to the right is kind of etched away. One of the interesting things about here is the erosion. Now I'm getting away from the sea a bit, especially because I don't want to be recording people, so I try my best to move the camera away from them. I don't want to be recording anybody, so that's why I'm pointing down for a bit. We're gonna go to the other side of the beach. There are a lot of people hanging out here. It's not a crowd by any means, but still there are people, but you can see there were very few of them actually in the ocean. Now you may be wondering, why is it called Columbus Bay? Well, that's because it's said that Columbus landed here with his ships when he found Trinidad. And there's also another rumor that when he docked here during the night, a big wave crashed into his ship, causing him to lose the anchor to his ship. And that anchor is supposed to be in the National Museum today. Now whether it's still there, I don't know. By the way, those rock formations out in the sea, those are called the Three Sisters. And this bay itself is quite long. It's about 4 kilometers. And we are just examining a very small part of it. Now, I came all the way from Port of Spain today, and that took several hours of driving. And we still had to see the rest of Icacos, so I could not go the full length of this beach, although I would have liked to, like I did with the Maracas beach video, but it just wasn't possible. However, in a little bit of exploring that I do here, you will be able to get an idea of what the bay area is like. So this is one of the very ends. Now I would imagine, based on the tide, you could probably walk all over to that rock formation there that's ahead. Now you can see how the water is somewhat clear, but yet still there's this black substance that is part of the water, and it almost has this oily feel to it. I really don't know what that is, but it's not anything inviting. I mean, I don't see anything like that if I go to Maracas or Las Cuevas. So I wonder if it has anything to do with oil. Now these are mangroves. They tend to grow by the sea area. That might be actually an almond tree too. I'm not a botanist, so if you know better than me, feel free to chime in. But it's interesting at how close it was to the seawater itself. And I didn't own any big boots or anything, so I couldn't allow that to get close to me. Now it'd be nice to see this, but always there's some sort of trash around, and that's another sad part about visiting this country. I mean, it has so much beauty, but then there's always some trash lying around, and I just don't get it. See, when I look at the water, it looks brown, and it looks like some kind of petroleum substance in it. Now when I was walking here, I heard lots of movement in these trees. I don't know what it was. Definitely was not human. It was more like some kind of animal. Now actually there are signs around telling you to beware of wild animals. So I don't know what kind of wild animals there are in the area. However, you may want to be aware of that if you were to come this way and decided, oh, let me go and venture in the forest. You might be taking a big risk. And because the sound was so interesting that I was hearing, I decided to come around here and look. Just coming somewhere from that way. Just beyond that clearing. I know this would make good for some stories for those of you who like local folklore. Now, on your way to this beach, while this beach is public, yeah, look at how much trash. And somebody tried to burn it, and of all places under a tree. Does that make any sense? Anyway, so on your way to this beach, it is a public beach, but on the left or the right may be estates that are private. I believe the estate is owned by Constance, at least one of them, and it's huge and it has thousands of coconut trees. I don't believe this side is. Probably the next side. Now while I'm walking here, you may hear me start to slap myself a bit because there are just so many mosquitoes. They just started to attack and attack and attack. So that's something else that you'll need to be aware of if you come this way. There were just a lot of mosquitoes, and I don't know. It's a different kind of mosquito here because when it lands, you don't feel it right away, but it does leave a sting, and so you end up slapping itself. I would describe them as rigid and aggressive. They're deep black. You can actually see them kind of flying around in your screen. If you have a big screen TV, you'll be able to actually see them. I don't know if they're Aedes aegypti, but wow. When I was making this video, I was just hoping I wasn't gonna get sick, and I didn't, so thank goodness for that. Now you're gonna see all the coconut trees, and by the end of this video I'm actually going to drive out and give you an even greater glimpse of it too, because it's just really nice to see. Watching it on this video camera doesn't do it justice. I'm looking at my elbows because there's just mosquitoes riddling my forearms. I have to remember to bring mosquito spray when I come out of these areas. Check out this sign. So in case you don't understand it, don't bathe near the rocks. Now the road to here is just like this. You see all this water and sand? If you have a car, I would not come through here. It will be low. You'll notice all the cars parked out there, and the ones that made it to the beach are trucks, like mine and others. Because you don't want to be caught in that. So you'll notice on the beach here on the right is only trucks and SUVs, and all the sedans and stuff are parked out there for that very same reason. Now, of recent, there was a lot of political banter about renaming places in Trinidad, and I do not discuss politics on this channel, as you know. But I have to comment and ask how you all feel about that. I mean, are we going to start renaming everything? Is it really necessary? Some people are saying this bay, for instance, Columbus Bay, where Columbus landed, should be renamed. What would they rename it to? And does it always have to be renamed to something of one origin or the next? I'm looking at the mushrooms that are coming out of this tree, and I would have make a nice shot, except all the trash there. Just can't seem to get rid of it. It's just so annoying for me to be, recording something of beauty, but then there's these man-made objects of people who could not think better than to simply put it in a bag and take it somewhere until they could find a trash bin. I just don't get it. And it's in all my videos. Why can't we keep this country clean? I just don't know why. And if you've watched my crazy driving videos, you would have seen that I've even caught people doing that live, just throwing trash everywhere. So inconsiderate. So, renaming. Should Columbus be renamed? If it should be renamed, what else would it be renamed to? Should we be going around renaming everything in the country because of some part of history we want to disconnect with? What's your view? Tell me in the comments area. And if you like what I do in these many videos, feel free to become a patron, because that really helps me to have the drive to continue to make more videos for you. So this is the drive out of Columbus Bay, and you can see all the coconut trees that we are passing. We are continuing to Icacos and other beaches there that you will see. I'm compiling all of them for the road trip video, which is really interesting and long. Usually I show these 5.3 videos first. So what do you think about Columbus Bay? Is that someplace you would like to see? Should it be renamed? What do you think about the water? What do you think about all these coconut trees? A landscape that you never see in anywhere else in Trinidad except maybe Manzanilla. I'd like to hear from you. Please do like, subscribe, share with your friends. Help me build a community for all of us. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you being here.